Yeah, what can I do for you, Rod? You just tell me, what can I do for you?
It's a very personal, very important thing. Hell, it's a family motto. Are you ready, Jerry?
I'm ready.
Just want to make sure you're ready, brother. Here it is. Show me the money.
Yeah. Cat. I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown to sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy. I've been on the come up, counting money till my thumbs hurt. No Birdman, bitch, but I'm a stunner. Just watch how you run up. I keep a couple gunners. I've been grinding all winter just to flex all over summer shit. Wrist cold when I fall through. Rose go to my arm, boo. In and out of my city, but come whenever I call you. Who gon' love me more than when I'm stacking out on tour? Them hoes that made it past security, they knocking on my door. You gon' be there when they gone. Show my love by getting more. Hustle so you ain't alone. You won't leave me, that's for sure. I'm talking Benjis, Franklin's, all these hundos on my floor. I just broke a couple bands, believe me, I've been going hard. I'm tipping bottle after bottle, swerving model after model. Who won't cash? That's the motto. Spending like I hit the lotto. Yeah, I'm loving my life. I know that I ain't shit without you. Actions speak louder than words. They broke cause they just talk about you, huh? I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown to sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy. Money bag after money bag, I'm the man now. Play the cards that I was dealt and I ain't need no handouts. Fresh on every set, give respect, mama out of debt. Got a new connect, we the best, homie run the check. Wifey got a new bag, new house, you mad? We just doing us, feeling wavy, fuck a do-rag. This that no stress flow, bobbing on my ex. She don't love cash, kiss my ass, baby XO. Thank you for that line, Mr. West, but I'm next though. Hey, you me the set, bitch, I'm blessed, sipping XO. For the love of money, I stay fucking hungry. I parted ways with the kitchen, that just wasn't for me. Every show they love me, now I'm showing love back. They ain't taking nothing from me, so I throw a couple stacks. You when I'm in your town, have some fun, blow it back. Fuck with me when I'm around, trust me, shorty, I'll be back, huh? I've been on the come up, running to the ones go. Boy, I got that one up, hustle when the funds low. Sundown to sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash, put the ones in the bag. Now count up, count up, count up, count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billy, 5 billy, I'm illy.
Yay, what's good, everybody? How y'all doing? What is good? Welcome to the Alphabets Football Show. I'm your host, Marcus the Alphabets, where we're taking about a 2-hour-long journey to discuss our favorite sport in the whole wide world, which is football. What's good? But first things first, I'd like to introduce my lovely co-host. I call her Miss Bruce Willis because she's die hard. Mona, what's good?
Hey guys, what's up? Hopefully a win this weekend.
Yeah, we're going to definitely talk about that. A lot of stuff going on.
That's all I want for Christmas is a win this weekend.
Yeah, I mean,
not even Christmas Day game, just this weekend.
This weekend. This weekend, you can destroy a lot of hopes and dreams. But we will see what happens. Got a couple of games tomorrow. We'll talk about that. A few news and notes, a few things going on, and like and share the show. Jump up in here. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're live on YouTube right now, and we're live on Facebook. So jump up in here, like and share the show. If you know somebody who likes football, Get your ass up in here. We have a few things to discuss. Last show before Christmas, I believe. So I hope everybody, I know some of you all are out there traveling. I'm seeing some of my family and stuff. Shout out to Ace, the MVP, one of our Rise Up people from back in the day. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday.
So happy birthday
Ace.
to Ace today. And a few other people who I may have missed, but I know for sure that it's Ace's birthday. I just saw it. Sometimes I just don't be seeing it to the last minute. I'll be sending happy birthdays at like 7 o'clock at night because I don't see it. So forgive my brain and I'm forgive my heart and not my brain. Okay. So let's get this party started. Let's do this, Mona.
All right, here we go.
Week 16, we got 3 more games left. So last week, oh my goodness, man.
Snorefest. I mean, that was a snorefest. It really was.
A straight up field goal battle. Rams coming off of their impressive victory the week before over Buffalo. And this goes to show you a lot of times when there's familiarity. And then also it's a Thursday night game. You just got out of a brutal fight against the Bills, a huge game in which you all kind of roughed them up a little bit. And then you play a game. This is why people don't like Thursday night games.
Yep.
It's really hard to get yourself back up to get in a fight against a division. And I understand the 49ers, they're kind of down. They're going on their 5th and 6th running back. It's looking like maybe Isaac Guerendo's not going to play this week. Their starter, all the backs that they've lost this year, but they're still going to fight you tooth and nail because they know you. There's nothing that you're going to do that's going to surprise them. So, not much to talk. There was no touchdowns this game. It was all field goals. It was all four field goals to 2. That's basically what it was. So, congratulations to the Rams. They when the Rams are, I will say this though, when the Rams are clicking, you can see they can beat anybody.
Yeah, they absolutely can.
They really can.
And not only that, I think also, like you said, you talk about the 49ers injuries and stuff, and the Rams are relatively healthy.
Yeah.
They got their guys back, and so that makes a huge difference.
It's a war of attrition. And when people say that injuries don't matter, the next man up philosophy, I understand it. But the bottom line is there's a reason why a guy's an all-pro, and there's a reason why a guy is barely on the practice squad, because there's levels of talent. And when you start being diminished, this is where your front office has so much impact on your team, because it's great to have superstars, but the other thing that you need to really be successful is depth. And if you're top heavy and all your money is going to all your superstars, the monstars, all of your guys are the highest paid guys, then it doesn't leave a lot of money for those guys at the bottom of the roster. So, Texans, they beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins, another team that's just kind of, there was a lot of expectations for them. I don't like their roster construction. I just don't. I think when you're building your team, you need to build your team to deal with the teams in your division. You're the only warm weather team and you're the only warm weather team in your division. So at the early parts of the season, you start off fast. Tua's injury prone, he gets hurt, then y'all lose, and then you're trying to scramble towards the end of the season to try to get back in playoff contention. It's just like too late. Right. Jets, they finally get a win. They're bad, but they're not Jacksonville Jaguars bad. Aaron Rodgers actually played maybe the best game of the season for him. I still think he needs to retire. Cowboys, I was surprised. I picked against the Cowboys this past week.
Yeah, we both did. I picked the Pan. You know what? That's funny. Gary missed one game, and that was the Bills game. He took the Bills to win.
Yeah. I look, Cooper Rush is, everybody can't be a superstar quarterback. but it's really nice when we just talk about depth. When you have a good backup quarterback, I don't think Cooper Rush is a franchise type quarterback, and I've even heard some of my Cowboys fans talking about he needs to start over Dak. He's not better than Dak Prescott. What
No.
he is he's doing his job as a good backup quarterback. You come in, you hold down the fort. Now, unfortunately for him, Dak Prescott's been gone for the year for a few weeks, and he's going to have to play the rest of the way. But Cooper Rush is a decent backup quarterback. That's what he is. He's a good backup quarterback. So congratulations to them. Ravens annihilate the Giants. Giants.
I don't think nobody saw that game being any different.
Yeah, and this is what you're supposed to do. People, well, you just beat the Giants. That's what you do to a team that's good. Right now, if the draft were held today, the New York Giants would have the number 2 pick in the draft. The Raiders moved in front of them. So the Ravens, they handled business, no big deal. Another team this kind of surprised me. I expected a lot more from the Washington Commanders, and this is what it is when you have a rookie quarterback. Sometimes what happens is they kind of hit a wall, because by now, we're a week, this was week 15. They only play 11, 12 games in college. So a lot of these guys, when you have like rookie quarterbacks, a lot of them are rookie players overall that are major contributors to your team. A lot of times they hit a wall towards the back of the season because they're playing more games than they've ever played in their life. So you kind of see that a lot of their contributors on their team are, younger players. Bengals, they get a win. Look, Bengals are what they are, and Mona, we talk about this all the time. They are a very explosive offense, very explosive.
Yep.
But their issue is they have no one on their defense besides Trey Hendrickson. So, the Tennessee Titans aren't some explosive juggernaut. They're just not. But it's just that the Bengals defense is pretty bad. Kansas City Chiefs, they find another way to win. Patrick Mahomes kind of gets a little nicked up. That could be a kind of a problem. We're going to talk about that here in a little bit. Kind of limped off. But they find a way to win, just like they've been doing all season long. The Bucks. I like the Bucks. I think the Bucks. I kind of thought maybe when they lost Godwin, that maybe they would be done, but they still got that bad man.
Happy birthday, Ace.
They got that. Happy birthday to you, man. They got that bad man, Mike Evans. I keep telling y'all. I think he's like, he's close. He's close to it. This will be his 10th or 11th straight season. He's never not had a 1,000-yard season, and he saved my skin in the playoffs in fantasy. The Cards, they get a victory over the Patriots. The Patriots have just, seems like they found their quarterback, but now, this offseason
he needs weapons.
I like Dre May. He's kind of thrown out there and kind of doing his thing, but they just gotta. Who on their offense scares you? Their defense is pretty good too, and it seems like there's some tension going on with Jarrett May over there. They're talking about maybe he gets fired at the end of the season. We'll see. Eagles beat your Steelers. I mean, I kind of called this last week. I love the Steelers defense. I think they're incredible. Their issue is
the offensive line. Our offensive line is, listen, I don't care what anybody says. The offensive line is the reason why Russell Wilson doesn't have time to throw the ball down the field. He is the offensive line is the same offensive line that we had last year, especially missing, three starting offensive linemen that we lost early for the season. And I have been saying this, and look, I'm going to worry about the Baltimore Ravens this weekend, and I usually don't sweat the Ravens.
Yeah.
I'm going to sweat them this weekend because I think our offensive line has played worse from the beginning of the season to the second half of the season. I feel like our offensive line has actually played worse. Granted, we're not going to be playing the Eagles defense, who is ranked number 1 in the league. And Baltimore's defense, and I have said it all season, that they are suspect. But we always play each other tough. We always do. The score usually 2-point, 3-point difference by the end of the game.
Yeah.
The one thing I saw that I have said all year, teams aren't able to run against us. Saquon had about 60, 65 yards against us in that game. I think I gave him 70 yards and a touchdown. He didn't even get a touchdown. So,
yeah. Well, here's the thing about it.
They passed all over us.
Yeah. If I don't have to run the ball on you though, if I can pass the ball,
right?
And that was the thing that I saw with that is there has been some issue with the pass defense. AJ Brown and
we lost 3 players on defense against the Eagles that did not play. You lose your strong safety. He wasn't in. And I'm sorry, but I'm going to tell you something. Minka Fitzpatrick has kind of let me down a little bit this year. Last year, it was a couple questionable games that he played in. This year, there's been quite a few questionable games. And I don't know if it's because he's just trying to overhelp just too much. And he kind of reminds me of the first year when
with the Dolphins.
Troy Polamalu, that first year with Polamalu.
Okay.
It was like he was a ball hawk, but he tried to do too much.
He's always kind of been he's always been kind of a freelance guy and a guy who can play down in the box. And my issue is I've kind of seen some things from Joey Porter Jr. that I haven't liked this year. I've watched a lot of tape on him. The scouting report for him coming out of college is he's grabby. He's very touchy grabby, and when you're playing against certain teams, and then the other thing too, yes, the offensive line's an issue. You all don't have any explosive people outside of George Pickens. Calvin Austin, he's a gadget guy. He's a number 3. He's a 3. Van Jefferson, maybe a 2. And when you take that, there's not really any besides Austin is a speed element on the team that people that can win quickly off the line of scrimmage. Yeah. This offseason, I'd really like to see. I can't rely on George Pickens, and now I
honestly think that our first pick will be a corner, and our second pick will be a receiver, or vice versa. It could go either way.
Yeah, you just never know how the draft will go, but they just got to get more playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. When your offensive line's not that good, like a team like the Bengals offensive line isn't that good in my opinion. But what they do have are people that can win fast. Jamar Chase can win immediately. T. Higgins can win immediately, and you got a guy like Chase Brown who can, you can flex him out and put him in different positions. So we'll see what happens. Pickens is looking like he's not going to play this week either. That'll be game 3.
He's out.
So the Bills, they get a victory. Josh Allen just playing.
I'm gonna tell you something. I took the Lions to win, and I was absolutely dead wrong. But I'm gonna tell you something. I went through and I was looking at all the players that the Lions have lost defensively.
16
defenders on IR.
And I'm going to say this too, just like I said on Coffee Talk. I don't think Sean McDermott's a very good tactician, in-game strategist. But there's one coach who's even worse than him, and his name is Dan Campbell. He does a lot of.
I told you, I did not think he was very smart. I do not think. I think that he was one of them kids that got pushed through high school because he helped win football games.
Yeah.
I think he got pushed through high school. I don't think they cared about his education. I don't know where he went to college, but I'm thinking his college scores probably weren't that great either.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's a very smart man.
He's a meathead. He to me, he's a little bit more talented of a coach than Antonio Pierce. He's a former player, but he's just really kind of a meathead. And when you're playing against, 12 minutes left in the game. You're down by 10 points and you're doing an onside kick with 12 minutes. It's
Right.
12 minutes in the fourth quarter. That is not the time. And now it would be different if it was back in the day where when you did onside kicks, you could just kind of sneak attack them and they don't know that it's coming. Now, in today's game, when you do an onside kick, you have to announce it to the team. You got to announce it. Let them know that you're going to do it. So I just don't
I'm
understand
kind
a
of
lot.
wondering how long that's going to last in the NFL.
Yeah, we saw, what was it, the Saints that one year? They came out and Sean Payton, he did it, kind of changed the tide of the game. But I just Dan Campbell, to me, with the talent on that team, and they've had some really bad, devastating. It's looking like David Montgomery might miss the rest of the year. They said he got another opinion, but he's out for at least a few weeks. And that's your thunder part of your running game. So now Gibbs has to carry more of a load. You had already lost a guy like Aiden Hutchinson. You lost the tackle McNeil. I mean, the injuries. This is what I talk about. Those injuries start adding up, and it's just I don't want to take away from the Buffalo Bills. I don't. It was a good victory, but after a while, we talk about a war of attrition where you just start losing bodies, and it's just like, okay, But I think maybe Josh Allen may have solidified and nailed down the MVP with that win. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Unless I still think that Saquon has a slight chance, but I think Josh Allen has put himself a little bit above. But if Saquon Barkley breaks that rushing record, and he's very close to it, because I think he's like sitting at like
as good as Josh Allen's playing right now, Saquon might get Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's got that sewed up. It's either him or
Chase,
the Baltimore Ravens guy, Lamar Jackson or Chase. To me, those three are the Offensive Player of the Year. I still think that Josh Allen, what he's done so far, I think he's head above, and usually that MVP goes to the quarterback. So
it does. It's going to be very hard, and that's what I'm saying.
He's my period. I love what Saquon's done.
Yeah,
but I've seen what Saquon does against good defenses.
Well, again, you can have a bad. Look, Josh Allen went 9 for 30 versus the Texans. 9 for 30. He went 30%. Yep. It happens. You have bad games. I mean, it happens. But I just think that, of course, like you were saying, Mona, I agree with you as far as like quarterbacks generally get the nod when it comes to that. But I still believe if Saquon can break a 40-year-old record, Eric Dickerson had since the 80s, and we're in the year 2025, I think that he has a shot. I don't know if it's a guarantee, but it's a shot. Broncos, they get the win over the Colts. Look, that Broncos defense, I was just bragging about them, and then last night we'll talk about that in a minute. The Broncos are just a young team. I think they won this game very convincingly. That defense, they had a pick six in the game. They got Bonito, Patrick Surtain Jr. They got someone, and then the kid Bo Nix. I still think he's in for me, he's the front runner, offensive rookie of the year. To me, they're in that year one of kind of rebuilding and becoming a contender. We talk about a team needing some weapons. I think this offseason they need to go get some more weapons on the perimeter. You can't just have one guy. I like Courtland Sutton, but I think they need another guy over there. And then the Green Bay Packers, they beat the Seahawks. Jordan Love, you kind of start.
I told everybody about this game. I told everybody, if they listen, I told everybody. Somebody said, "Oh no, Seattle at home. No, they don't. Green Bay Packers have just as bad a weather as they do.
Yeah,
maybe not as much rain, but they have a whole hell of a lot more snow. No, I said this game exactly what happened.
Well, here's the thing with me is, we talk about some quarterbacks and they're just journeyman quarterbacks, and they kind of tease you a little bit. Well, here's another one, Geno Smith. Geno Smith, to me, is the weak link on that team. He he flashes. Sometimes you're like, wow, Geno, he's finally got it. And he was in some pretty bad situations with the Jets, and teams like that. But they finally put some pieces around him. You got a
I
good.
don't even blame this loss on Geno as much as I blame this loss because Green Bay Packers defense is a legit defense.
Their defense is they are legit, no doubt about it. So congratulations to them. Minnesota, look, it's going to be. You talk about a race up there. The Lions could very easily, with the injuries that they have, Mona. You just mentioned the injuries that the Lions have. They're tied. They're both 12-2. If the Lions fall off, the Vikings can win that division. So they get the win over Chicago. Look, Chicago, another team with a rookie quarterback, and I know a lot of people are ready to jump ship on Caleb Williams. I think that this offseason for them, I think that they need to go get an offensive-minded head coach that can use his talents. I still think he's incredibly talented.
Well, guess what? We're getting ready to find out something about the Vikings because they play
this week.
They play the Seahawks, which I think that they win that. Then they play the Packers. In the last game of the season, they play the Vikings.
And see, I kind of like what the NFL has done as far as putting division games towards the back of the season, because you can't tank.
Well, you know what? I'm going to stop you right there because I don't. Because I don't mind having one division, 2 or 3 division games, fine. But not all 6 at the end of the season.
Yeah, that there, I never really.
Yeah. Schedule is brutal.
Yeah, it's pretty tough. But here's the thing about that. I think, it's going to come down.
When you play division rivals,
yeah,
they are out for blood. They are out there. Look, these teams aren't out there just to win games. They're out there to hurt you, try to put some players out so they're not having to worry about them in the playoffs kind of shit. And trust me, the AFC North, if anybody pays attention to the AFC North, that's exactly what happens. Don't matter if we play in Cleveland Browns last game of the season and they ain't got nothing to win for. We usually lose a player or 2 in that game. Into the season, don't matter. But we end up losing a player or 2. So.
Well, every division feels that way. I mean, right now the Eagles, they're playing. If they play the Giants are. The Eagles should technically win the games, but the Giants are going to go out there and fight them. So it just makes it a little bit more meaningful, and that's why you kind of want to try to go ahead and wrap up your division. It's not always possible. Tom Brady, he used to master that, where he would just, the Bills, they're in a good situation. They've already won their division, so they can kind of pick and choose when they want to play. So we'll see what happens, but then we have the Falcons. Look, man, Kirk Cousins, I talked about it earlier. It was finally benched. We had been calling for that for the past few weeks. It's just Father Time is undefeated. He's already been. They've been winning. They have an opportunity to win that NFC South. I think it's going to go through them and the Bucks, but he has not been playing well. He just hasn't. And I think
the Falcons, the Bucks, aren't the Bucks leading quite a bit?
No, they're right next to each other. I have to look. I got the standings up in there, but they have an opportunity to win. The Panthers are done. The Saints are done. It's a 2-horse race between the Falcons and the Buccaneers. And look, it's just they've been trying to see.
I didn't realize they were that close. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Bucks are 8-6 and Falcons 7-7. So.
Yeah. This is and this is why the NFL kind of wanted the drama of putting divisional games towards the back, because these games matter. your game tomorrow matters. We'll talk about that and make our picks as far as that. It matters, you know. And it can change your seating just like that. You can go from
And
three.
I don't doubt that many people are picking against Pittsburgh because of Pickens being out. Hell, we don't even have our backup quarterback now. So,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna tell you something. I'm still going with my Steelers because this team knows what it means for this game.
Okay. We'll definitely talk about it. We have our picks coming up here. News and notes. Few things going on. Former Falcons, Eagles,
Steelers.
Jets, Steelers, uh, quarterback Michael Vick. He's been hired as the head coach of Norfolk State. I guess
Norfolk
that's in
State
North.
University. Spartans.
So look, it seems to be the trend now. You're starting to see, Deion's a guy like Deion Sanders, going into coaching and stuff like that. Uh, I like it. I like to see people get. I like to see people get another chance at life, and when they get that chance to use that as a platform, sometimes people will never forgive you for certain stuff. We make mistakes. We make mistakes. I will forever. A lot of people will never forgive him. You know, I don't. I own dogs. I love my dogs. I've owned several dogs, but I also believe I love human beings a little bit more than I love dogs. I love dogs, and when a person's able to turn their life around, and then you're put in a situation
I
where you
love my
can.
dogs, and I'm gonna tell you something right now.
Mhm.
If somebody's doing something to one of my dogs and trying to hurt one of my dogs, I'm
Yeah,
probably gonna shoot them. And
I,
that's just
I,
how it is. I don't give
that's
a shit who you are.
that's that's the
You
way I
come
feel
on,
about my
you
dog.
come on my property in my fenced-in backyard, and
Yeah.
you try to hurt one of my dogs, I'm gonna shoot you.
I feel very strongly about my dogs too. I've owned a lot of dogs. Uh, I hope he uses this platform to groom young men, bring them along. This guy, he's from the same area as Allen Iverson. What is that? Newport News. Mike Tomlin, Newport News. To get out of that situation and go through what he's done and kind of turn his life around. I wish him good luck. The kids that go down there, I think he could. Some of his life experiences, he could mentor some of these young men and be a good influence on there. So congratulations to Michael Vick as far as that. And this is why the Browns keep having issues. Look, I believe in giving people chances and stuff, but I also believe in looking at tape. And what I'm seeing from Deshaun Watson, they're saying that they still see certain things from him. And I guess what else are they going to say? His contract is fully guaranteed, but it would not prevent me if they're going to have a high draft pick. They've already paid all of their draft capital to the Houston Texans. They're going to probably have a high draft pick, probably in the top 10. If some quarterback were to fall, and I were there, me personally, if I'm the GM, that would not prevent me from not drafting a quarterback.
Oh,
It
I'd
just
definitely
wouldn't.
be drafting one.
I don't think this is a particularly good quarterback draft, but if some
Better,
quarterback were to fall,
better find a free agent quarterback that might be available.
I do, because I don't think Jameis Winston's the answer either.
No,
We talk
neither
about
do I.
God. We talk about this week. He kind of proved, and that's been the issue with him. And I talked about this earlier in Coffee Talk this week. He's a guy. He shows you flashes, and then the next week he'll have 2 or 3 good weeks. It reminds me a lot of Ryan Fitzpatrick. They'll show you flashes, and then they play a game, and you're like, it's like they've never played football in their life until they solve the quarterback conundrum that they've been having since they come back into the league as the new Cleveland Browns.
Yep.
Until they figure that out, they're going to have issues, because you look at the other. That's the disadvantage that they have over the other franchises in the AFC North. When you have the Joe Burrows, the 2-time MVP Lamar Jackson, and hell, even right now, a guy like a Super Bowl champion quarterback like Russell Wilson. I don't know if he'll be there next year,
I
but
will be honest with you. I think Justin Fields is a better quarterback than he is. Period.
at this stage, he just might be. So until they do that, you have the worst quarterback situation. You have the worst quarterback situation in the division.
Dwayne.
Go get Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence. The Zags are married to him. If he just signed his contract, there's no way that they can get out of that contract. Speaking, this week, it gets to a point. I guess the love affair is over with Will Levis. I thought maybe he could be the answer there. That's another franchise that's had a rough time, and they've drafted quarterbacks, and they really haven't had that type guy since Steve McNair.
Yeah.
Steve Air McNair. I mean, Vince Young didn't pan
He's
out.
the only quarterback I can remember being afraid of playing against.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
At one point in time, they were in our division for a while,
Yeah,
Or in our conference for sure.
they gotta figure out the court, and they've spent resources trying to get them. They spent a first round pick on certain guys, and they just haven't panned out. And you look at the quarterbacks that they've had over the years. They've tried. They've tried.
Is going to be the starter from here on out.
You're basically, and this is a young guy. He's doing commercials and flexing. He's got some talent, but they just, they decide to move forward. And Jameis Winston, we just talked about him a second ago, shows flashes. At this stage in your career, dude, you should be a little bit more established. And some of the mistakes that you're making, so they're riding with Dorial Thompson-Robinson, I think is his name. They're rolling him for the rest of the year. So we had 2 more benchings this
They got
week.
Billy Zappi too.
What's that?
They have Billy Zappi as well.
Again, it's this offseason. If a quarterback is available that has some pedigree to him, you might want to go draft them. So we got 2 more quarterbacks get benched. So we'll see what happens as far as that. And we just talked about a little bit. Kirk Cousins is benched, and finally,
to me, this was 2 weeks too late.
Now you're scrambling, and I get it. When you have a veteran who's kind of, who's got a few skins on the wall. I think he's got 1 playoff win, I think. But when you draft a guy, Mona, when you draft a guy in the first round, these aren't the days back in the day where you sit guys down. I got to know if you can play. I spent the number 8 overall pick on you. I got to know if you can play. So the kid, he has some talent. A lot of the players on the team say that he's the most talented quarterback on the team. Well, guess what, guy? You're going to get your chance. Because with the weapons that the Falcons have, I just feel like they should be more explosive. You got a first-round pick running back in Bijan Robinson. You got a first-round pick tight end and Kyle Pitts. You got a first-round pick wide receiver in Drake London. There's no reason these guys. You got weapons over there. You got to have a trigger man who can get on the ball. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the Michael Penix era. So we'll see what happens. What we got next? We had some releases, and some of this to me is respect a little bit, maybe. Sometimes it's respect, not always respect. And then some of it too is I'm trying to open up a roster spot. Some of it, I saw Calais Campbell last week. He plays for the Dolphins now. They're not going anywhere. Give him an opportunity. This might be his last year playing. He's an older veteran. Hey, release the guy, let him go somewhere he can hop on a contender. They let Odell Beckham Jr. go last week. And no one still picked him up. That says a lot. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire, former first-round pick. He was teammates with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase at LSU. I don't think his heart's really that much in the football. And then it's like he just can't get on the field. Like, Pacheco's back. There's only so many touches. You got Pacheco, you got Kareem Hunt, You got Carson Steele, the kid that they really like, who was covering down. And, you got some players coming back, roster spot. You got Hollywood Brown coming back. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then Mona, somebody who you know a lot about, Deontay Johnson. Look, like I always say, and like my mom says, and like my coach used to say, if everywhere you go, it's an issue, maybe it's not everybody else. Now, I got
to think about it. You asked me if I'd want Deontay Johnson back with Pittsburgh. Like you said, he does know the plays.
Mm-hmm.
Probably wouldn't take him long to get back into the groove.
He's in shape. He's been on teams. It's not like he's just.
He's not a bad number 2.
Yeah,
he's not. And right now we're missing a number 1.
Yeah,
and we don't know for sure how long he's going to be out.
And the thing about it is, the reason I had said that is sometimes you need to be humbled a little bit too. He's bounced around. Look, what team needs wide receivers more than the Carolina Panthers? What team needs wide receivers more than the Carolina Panthers? And they said, we're good. Thanks. I think some of it, I think Deontay views himself a certain way as a certain pedigree of player, and he's not that. Before he was asking to be one of the highest paid wide receivers in the league, and he started to see as he got out there into the market that the market that he thought was there for him is just not there. The NFL does not view him as they don't view him as Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase or CeeDee Lamb or even guys like Devonta Smith and number 2s. They don't view him as that type of guy, a Tyler Lockett or guys like that. They don't view him like that. He's a good wide receiver, and maybe this humbling experience, maybe he can come back. You come back home, the prodigal son. But you have to go out there and go eat with the pigs for a little bit, and then come back home. Humbled a little bit. I think maybe now it depends, and that's why you never want to burn bridges, because you just never know. You never know.
I never really heard him say anything bad.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't think it would be like when they asked Mike Tomlin if Antonio Brown could come back, and he just looked at him crazy and walked off the stage. So, I mean, maybe we'll see what happens. So he just got released today. We'll see what happens. I think it's kind of funny considering and they did it the day before they played the Steelers. You notice they didn't do it on Tuesday? Because usually that's when teams come back for their first week of their first day of practice for the week. Usually
they didn't want to cut him too quick because they were afraid Pittsburgh might get him back up.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I just think it's funny that they waited till Friday morning to release him. There's really, you got to clear waivers.
Hey, Josh, good to see you.
You got to clear waivers. So it's like there was no way he was going to clear waivers by tomorrow. So, look, I talked about this a little bit. To me, there is nothing worse. There's nothing worse. Almost nothing worse than a guy who leaves his teammates hanging.
And that's exactly what he did.
And that's what you did. You're in the middle of a fight. You had a little temper tantrum. You really thought you were going to start over Dre Greenlaw? Dre Greenlaw is one of the better inside linebackers. You weren't going to start over Fred Warner. And Greenlaw gets hurt again. They ask you to go in the game, and you say, no, I don't want to go in the game. If I were a GM, I would never take a guy like this on my team. Antonio Brown, I would never. After that stunt that he pulled with Tampa, I could overlook some of the other stuff. Some of the stuff is just some of it. But to quit in the middle of a game,
the shit he did to the Raiders was bad enough.
Yeah.
Then he went to the Patriots with Tom Brady his last year up there, and then he followed Tom Brady to the Bucs.
Yeah, you can't. I can't trust you. That's what you told me is I can't trust you.
Yep.
And then I can't trust you. So Fields and Pickens, they're ruled out for tomorrow. We'll make our picks as far as that. Look, that's a tricky thing about hamstring. At first I can actually say that maybe I was wrong. I thought maybe it was they
this
were
was a slap on the hand kind of thing.
I thought that they were benching him and they were trying to overlook it. It's legit. This is legit because I'm like, okay, This is going to be game number 3, and that's the thing when you start having like hammies. It's just that hammies are like high ankle sprains. They're just one of those injuries. It's like 2 weeks to 8 weeks. You just never know, depending on the severity.
Unless you're Patrick Mahomes and you go to the Super Bowl and win.
Yeah. So Pickens, he's gonna miss. Another game. And this game is critical. It really is critical. If they lose this game, they're not necessarily out of it. They can still win the AFC North, but
Courtney, I seen you say that. You said that in the on a post on Facebook too.
What's
Courtney
that?
says Ravens by 2 touchdowns.
Oh yeah, I don't see that happening. But so it just look, war of attrition. We talk about this, and that's why it's so hard to win championships. Why I always laugh when people, oh, you haven't won a Super Bowl in this amount of time. Well, guess what? Some teams have never won a Super Bowl, let alone even been to one. And
Right.
the Lions are one of them. It's because there's a lot of stuff that has to go right. There's a lot of stuff. You got to be healthy. You got to have depth. You got to have a good system. You got to have a good coach, a good front office, and all these things have to come together.
And you have to stay healthy. Your team has to stay. 16 defenders are on IR for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, and then you're in a dogfight at the top of the division in the NFC North against the Vikings. Y'all are both 12-2. And now you're losing your best players. You already lost your best pass rusher. Now you lose, the Thunder to your Lightning on your running back core. I mean, it's just tough. Then Jameson Williams got suspended a few games this season. I mean, it's tough. Jared Goff has had a couple of games where he looked like crap. Then you got a dumbass coach like Dan Campbell. It's hard to overcome some of this stuff. So, look, it's going to be tough for them. There were a couple of weeks ago, there were people, including myself, that thought maybe they were the best team in the league. And now, just like that, and that's how quick things turn around in the NFL. Speaking of things turning around real quick, Patrick Mahomes, we saw him he left the stadium with a boot on, but he's been practicing all week. We see him kind of get through stuff like this. Me personally, I would not play him, but because of his status, and they were talking about it on the talk shows this morning, he's the kind of guy. He's the Michael Jordan of the league. If he goes to Andy and says, "I'm good, I'm cool, I'll be all right," and maybe wears a boot or gets his ankles wrapped a little bit better, or wears an ankle brace.
Yeah, they have this new ankle brace that they can put on the
outside.
That. Yeah,
the one last time.
Had one in the game.
Yeah. So there's technology now where you can kind of get on it. I think he knows his body better than anyone. I would be a little bit reluctant to play him, but I get it because if they just really need to win 1 out of the next 3 games, and they'll have the number 1 seed. I think that they really need that number 1 seed because they do have reinforcements coming back. Speaking of reinforcements, and I've been telling people, I was like, all the people, the Chiefs, they're not as explosive. They're vulnerable, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, they lost their number 1 running back. They lost their number 1 wide receiver. Their number 2 wide receiver hasn't played a game for them this season. They've had to go out into the street and get people out of retirement. Uber drivers. They had to go get Kareem Hunt, who was sitting on the couch. They had to go pick up Juju Smith-Schuster back up. Travis Kelce isn't what he is. Their offensive line has been bad. They're out there with just scraps.
Yeah, when Travis Kelce really shows up though.
In the playoffs.
In the damn playoffs.
And that's what I'm saying.
That's where the defense shows up. In the playoffs.
So they get back Hollywood Brown, and they say I've been reading and watching video. They say he looks incredible. Now you talk about starting to get weapons back. Dealing with an Xavier Worthy, who's probably the fastest guy in the league. And then you put Hollywood Brown next to that. Now you're cooking with bacon grease. And now that allows everybody to shift down and play their natural role. So you can put Juju Smith-Schuster at 2 or DeAndre Hopkins at 2, and put put the kid Xavier Worthy in the slot.
Yeah.
So now you're every week Pacheco gets more and more healthy, and you got a nice little 1-2 punch with him and Hunt. Now you're cooking with bacon grease. Noah Gray, the tight end, the backup tight end, he's kind of starting to emerge a little bit. So this is the thing with it. The Chiefs, to be the man, you must beat the man. I don't care that you beat them in the regular season. When they start getting all their pieces back with that coaching staff and Spagnuolo and Reed and getting players back, and then if you give them a bye week too to rest up an extra week while everybody else is beating the hell out of each other, I'm just saying, don't go celebrating too much. Because I've seen this movie a few times. I think we've all seen this movie a few times. I do not count Rudy Tomjanovich.
I think the Eagles to actually win the Super Bowl. I really did. But I told Gary, I said, look, you still have to beat him. To beat the man, you got to beat the man.
You got to beat the man.
The guy is just phenomenal in the playoffs. So
I'm just saying, you better. Hollywood Brown gives them a whole nother. What has been their main issue? The lack of explosive plays. Well, now, like I said, with the receiving core, you go Juju Smith-Schuster, DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, Xavier Worthy, Mecole Hardman. Now you're kind of starting to cook with bacon grease. So we'll see what happens.
I got to go back. I got to go back to this one in a second.
Okay.
I just want to tell you right now that I think Hollywood Brown is one of the cutest little guys I think I've ever seen. He's got such a pretty face. Oh my God, he's just so pretty.
I think that's amazing coming for you. I thought you kind of like the rugged type. You say pretty. You say pretty. For a man, that's surprising to hear you say that. So yeah, I'm sure that they like his pretty face too. I'm sure they're happy to have his pretty face back.
I'm sure they're happy to have him back for sure.
For sure, because they need him. Buda Baker, he gets it.
And Dwayne says they got the cheat code with Hollywood Brown.
I'm telling you, the Cardinals, they extended Buda Baker, and there had been a lot of talk about him maybe getting traded, but now that they're kind of getting their team together, a couple of years ago they had let Hassan Reddick go, and it was like, oh, this guy, he'll probably get traded,
Look, Courtney, I kind of agree with you on this. The Chiefs O-line is kind of the issue, not the receivers. The receivers were too. I mean, they lost their number one, lost the number two, hadn't played all year. But I said the same thing about Pittsburgh. Our O-line is our issue. It is not it's not the receiving core per se. It's not the quarterback, because we know that Russell Wilson can throw the ball. Our offensive line has gotten worse and worse and worse. Usually they get better as the season goes along. This year, to me, the offensive line has gotten much worse for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
How bad?
I am worried about what's going on in the next 3 games.
How bad do you think that the Bengals offensive line is? It's like I was saying earlier. It kind of goes ahead.
Look, I have said I think their offensive line, but they're not as bad as they were last year. I think they're a little bit better this year than what they were last year.
They were bad because they lost Joe Burrow last year.
The Bengals issue, point blank period, is their defense. If their defense can play football and keep teams from scoring, look at the points that they're putting up. It's the defense that's killing them.
They're putting up points because, again, they have wide receivers that can look. It's like saying what's more responsible.
But to get the ball to the wide receivers, the quarterback has to be able to throw the ball, and the offensive line is giving him enough time to throw the ball.
Okay, not necessarily though.
Yes,
not necessarily. Okay, who was the best wide receiver that Dan Marino ever had? Can you name them? Because I can't. The Marks brothers, maybe. The reason that Dan Marino was able to do the things that he did, it wasn't because they had great wide receivers. Because Dan Marino got rid of the ball extremely well. Their offensive line wasn't that great. The issue, the thing with the Bengals is their offensive line still stinks. They're terrible. I don't think their offensive line is as bad as what Pittsburgh did. I think they're up there, but again, when you look, it's like saying what's more important on the defense, the pass rush or the secondary? Because they kind of go hand in hand. If your pass rush can't get to the quarterback, that means that your secondary has to cover longer. Okay? Or you could also have you have other teams that didn't have good defensive lines, but they had a really, really good secondary. I don't think that the Seattle Seahawks, the Legion of Boom, can you name anybody from their defensive line? They didn't have a great defensive line, in my opinion, but they had corners that could cover really good. The Bengals offensive line is not that good. It's just that they got really, really good receivers and a really, really good quarterback that can get open really quick. And then their number one receiver and their quarterback played in college together. Same thing. I don't think that the Miami Dolphins offensive line is not that good. But guess what? Every year.
You asked a question about the Seattle, the Legion of Boom, Seattle Seahawks defensive lineman. I mean, they had Michael Bennett.
Michael,
look, they had Tony McDaniel.
Come on now. In the grand scheme of things, who was they weren't. Michael Bennett bounced around all over the league. Look, if you're an elite pass rusher, we just talked about pass rushers not growing on trees. How many teams was Michael Bennett on? How many teams was he on?
I have no clue.
A lot. He was elite edge rushers. Don't just elite people. They don't let. He was a good player. He wasn't. But the star of that defense was a secondary that would just shut you down. Or back in the day with the Patriots, I don't think that their defensive line was that great, but they had Revis and Akeem.
PFF has the Steelers O-line at 9th. Nah, they're stupid. PFF puts out a lot of shit that I just absolutely do not agree with, and there's no way the Steelers offensive line is 9th in the league. No way in hell. No way.
Yeah, so I don't know if I don't know if I agree with that, but the Bengals offensive line is pretty bad. They're pretty bad. It's just you got an all-world quarterback he's an all-world quarterback. So congratulations to Buddha for getting paid. They're trying to put a little something together over there. I just think he'd still be on the team. What's up, Monster Man? What we got next, Mona? Look, Mona, me and you have been, Mona, we're going to start a new club. It's called we're going to be the Mike Evans Fan Club. Okay? I'm going to be the president of the Mike Evans Fan Club, and you can be the vice president of the Mike Evans. I just think this guy's dynamite. I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves. He has an opportunity this weekend to make $3 million. So I expect Baker Mayfield to pepper him with targets. See, Antonio Brown, this is what Tom Brady was trying to do for you before you just took your pass off and just walked off the field. He had an opportunity to do it. He's trying to keep me from getting my bonus. He needs 251 yards to hit 1,000 yards. I don't know if he gets 250 yards this week, but he's got 3 games to get 251 yards. So he has an opportunity, incentives in his clause to. All
right, so Russell Wilson's been sacked 21 times this season.
Okay.
And you got to remember, he didn't start till week 7.
Okay. Sacks aren't just because your offensive line is bad either. Sacks sometimes too is because your quarterback's holding the ball too long. And also because your wide receivers can't get open, so he's patting the ball looking for your receivers to get open. That's what I'm telling you about with the wide receivers. Jamar Chase and T. Higgins get open quickly. You don't have a guy on your team. Yes, your offensive line, I'm not saying that they're that great, but the difference between the Bengals and the Steelers is they got 2 really good wide receivers. I don't think that the Miami Dolphins have a great offensive line either. We've seen Tua get his brains beat in. But what they do have are 2 really good receivers and one who's probably a future Hall of Famer that can get open immediately.
All right, so Burrow's been sacked 33 times, but he's played every game this year.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. That their offensive line's not that good either, and
Well,
neither is it.
21 and 33 and 7 games less. To me, that says a lot.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. It shows you that. Okay, I'm just saying that it helps when you got good receivers. You don't have any. Who on the Pittsburgh Steelers scares you? And that's what I was talking about, the speed element. Burrow throws a 5-yard slant to Jamar Chase, and he takes it for 70 yards. That's the difference. You got a guy like that. You got to get it. And, we talk about, elite edge rushers. You know what else is really hard that don't grow on trees either? Number one wide receivers.
Oh, yeah, I know. I know this.
Yeah.
And neither do quarterbacks.
Elite
we went
quarterback.
several years without a quarterback, and got a decent. I mean, he's not spectacular quarterback right now, but he's
the best thing you've had in a minute.
Best thing we've had since Big Ben.
No doubt about it. Like Meek Mill says, everything that you do, there's levels to it. Every week we bring you, your playoff pictures, offensive stats, and all that power rankings. Right now, and this will definitely change this week. It can change this week. You still got the 2 top seeds up top. On the AFC side, the Chargers would go to Buffalo, the Broncos would go to Pittsburgh, and the Ravens would go to Houston. Then you have the Commanders would have to go to the Eagles, the Packers to the Bucks, and then the Vikings to the Rams got in there. Who fell off? The Seahawks? The Seahawks fell off. Seahawks were on there last week, so the Rams, because that you have a congestion over there in the NFC West. So look, the Steelers Ravens game is huge, because if the Steelers win, they're good, but if they lose, then you drop to 5, and you would be on the road going. But there's still a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff to handle, but. You got games now that are really the Seahawks just dropped off of there with that loss that they just had to Green Bay. They dropped they wouldn't be in the playoffs right now. So these games now, they are crucial. They're very crucial. So we'll make our picks here in a minute. Power rankings. Oh wow. Buffalo jumps to the the number 1 in the league.
Lions dropped 2. With that loss to the Bills. Eagles stay. Wow, the Bills jumped. The Bills jumped. Weren't the Bills were at 3 last week, weren't they? Yeah, they went up 2 because they beat the number 1 power ranked team.
To be the man, you got to beat the man. You beat the number 1 team in the power rankings, and they jump up to number 1. So that's the thing. You go from
went down 1 on a win.
Who did?
The Chiefs. They dropped down 1
and see
on a win.
Yeah, people just aren't, and maybe that's a good thing. People start overlooking. Y'all can overlook the Chiefs all you want. They got 1 loss, and what did the Bills got? 3 losses. I think they got 3 losses. So, look, and then you got wow, just. It's crazy. You look at some of the movement there. I mean, the Commanders are pretty damn good, and they're in the 12. Really, that's crazy. I think after the Broncos lost last night. Now this is for the game that they had last night doesn't count on here, but I think you'll see the Broncos take a little bit of a step back.
They'll probably drop 1 or 2.
Yeah, definitely, and then. The Giants. Whoo, man. Look at the Panthers. For most of the year, they were sitting at 32, 30, 32, and they moved up a little bit. They made a little bit of progress. So we'll see what happens. The Rams are at 11.
And Chargers are at 13.
I think the Chargers are on the next.
They're probably going to go up 2. Denver's probably going to drop down 2.
They'll probably jump in the top 10. I mean, they beat the Broncos straight up. They gave they Broncos that was bad coaching. They should have won that game. That one there, that's coaching there. They messed up my damn pick too. I hate losing my Thursday pick. So there's your power rankings for.
I told you last
I
night.
hate. They had them. They
We were
had them.
texting each other, and I told you. You said that was just way too easy on that first
Yeah.
touchdown. And I'm like, yeah, but now the game is tied, so we shall see. And because
If-
I took
Yeah.
the Chargers.
I know you did. Justin Herbert just impressed me so much last night. You just see the talent there. I've been raving about Marcus. You got a
And not only
man.
that, but you know what? His receivers are reacting to him now too.
I still think
He
this
needs a
offseason they need a number one. And they got a bunch of really try hard guys. Joshua Palmer's not going to impress you, and Quentin Johnson, to me, he's just too inconsistent. Here's your leaders here, your offensive leaders. Joe Burrow, he's up 200 damn yards. He's been doing that. That's what I'm just saying. I think this season has showed a lot about the talent of Joe Burrow, even though the record doesn't really kind of reflect that. Jared Goff having a great season.
You can't take away what Burrow and his receivers are doing on the offensive side of the ball. The record does not defy showing the passing and the receiving leaders.
Yeah.
In this slide,
Yeah.
It's the defense. The
defense
what's
is
killing them.
terrible. They're like historically bad. Historically bad. Geno Smith is still in the top 3. Baker Mayfield, him and Mike
He's
Evans
just behind Geno. I think after this week, you'll probably see Mayfield actually jump up.
Yeah, he's only 6 yards behind. So I mean, he's got a good game, and he's playing against the Cowboys secondary with no Trayvon Diggs and Lamar Jackson, just a running back playing quarterback. Jamar Chase, he's running away with that 200
Although
yards.
I do feel like he's doing more quarterbacking, and he needs to do a little bit more of his running back scenario.
I do too. Even his mama said it. His mama even told him that. You're like, I need to start seeing you run more. That's what makes you special. And I think sometimes, especially in the playoff games, I thought that there were opportunities there, especially in the AFC Championship game last year. There were opportunities for him to take off, and I don't know what it is. Mama Jackson, if that's your name, tell your son to start running a little bit more. I'm not saying run 20 times a game, but there's opportunities there. It just frustrates the defense. Yeah. The 2 LSU guys, they're leading the wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb at 3, the Sun God at 4, and then Jerry Jeudy. Coming over from the Broncos, a lot of people had just kind of, written him off, and now you're starting to see that.
Like they wrote off Russell Wilson,
Yeah, maybe Sean Payton, maybe need to stop. I think Bo Nix could have maybe done something with Jerry Jeudy over there. Saquon Barkley running away. He's up 200 yards on Derrick Henry. It was kind of close before now. I mean, he's just kind of running away with that.
He was at 200 last week too. So.
Yeah, he's kind of running away with that. Josh Jacobs just kind of revived his career. Just happy to see him having the success with Green Bay. Kyron Williams. Another guy who doesn't really get mentioned too much. They got a nice little 1-2 punch, him and Blake Corum. And then Bijan, finally, they're getting him the ball. I'm a Texas Longhorn fan, and I've just been flabbergasted that this guy, you look at the talent from him, just not using them correctly. They're kind of trying to get the ball to him a little bit more. So congratulations to him. Those are your offensive leaders there. And then you got your sacks, Trey Hendrickson, he's still up there at top. Danielle Hunter, coming over from the Vikings, he's a half a sack behind. Bonito, I like this kid. Last week was it a pick 6 last week? Not this week, but last week. TJ Watt jumping into the fray, finally kind of started off slow, but to me, the defending defensive player of the year kind of getting back on track a little bit. And I think part of that too is the offense is a little bit better where they're not as they're able to unleash him to go get the quarterback. Myles Garrett, he's a half a sack behind, and then Greenard from the Vikings. That's nice. I guess that's your. And I was asking you last week, who was the guy that the Vikings had got, the kid from Alabama, Dallas Turner.
Yep.
That was Dallas Turner. I asked you last year, like, is he anything like Will Anderson Jr., another Alabama guy? Your tackles leaders, Zaire Frank. I don't really trip too much. I know this sounds crazy, but I don't really trip on tackles because I'm like,
well, we didn't have the interceptions list for some reason. They didn't post it.
They didn't put them up this week, so congratulations. I
will say one thing. I'm gonna go back right here for a second.
Okay.
Does Najee get over 1,000 yards this year? He's at 891 right now. He's got 3 games left to play.
Okay.
Does he get over 1,000 this year?
Can he get over 1,000? He should. With 3 games left to play, he should. Yeah. I think a lot of success has to do with game script too. If I'm 2 touchdowns behind, it kind of takes me out of the game. It goes back to the old philosophy with Derrick Henry with the Titans. What did you try to do? Jump on the Titans quickly, right? Yep. And get up on them. And then at the end of it's like now you can't really run Derrick Henry because now they got to pass because they're trying to catch up. So I don't know it. Now can your defense? We're going to make our picks here in a minute. With the Ravens game or whatever. But I'm not saying it'll happen. But what if the Ravens get up early in the game? Right. Now you kind of take Najee out of the game because now Russell's got to drop back, 25 times and throw the ball. So it's a lot of it has to do with game script. Give me some
both running backs can catch the ball pretty damn good.
That helps. But the thing is, it doesn't help your rushing yards. And we know that Najee can do both. You know what I'm saying? So that takes him out of the rushing department, and now he's got to catch more balls. So.
All right, so now we're at our Rocky Fire Tough Guy Award segment, and this is our Players of the Week for Week 15. And our Defensive Players of the Week are, hold on. Derek Stingley Jr. with the Texans with 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, and 2 interceptions. And Edgerrin Cooper with 5 tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 passes defended, 1 sack, and 1 interception.
He's going to be a superstar. I liked him coming out of Texas A&M. And Stingley, I think Stingley went before Sauce Gardner. They were in the same draft. So you're kind of starting to see him kind of live up to his billing over there. Yeah.
Our Offensive Players of the Week are Josh Allen with the Buffalo Bills with that game against the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
67.6 completion percentage rate, 362 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 122.4 passer rating, rushed for 68 yards and 2 touchdowns. So
I want to say I had put up a slide earlier in the group, and he credits a lot of that to his fiance, Haley Steinfeld. He's like, she just says, and this just goes to show here at the Alphabets Football Show, we talk football, but we also talk a little bit of life, and it helps when you have a nice woman on your side that's very supportive. Just saying.
Yep. And then, of course, the Cleveland Bust, Baker Mayfield with the Tampa Bay Bucks with a 81.5 completion percentage rate, 288 passing yards, 4 passing touchdowns, with a 135.3 passer rating, and he also rushed for 25 yards, which Baker really doesn't do a whole lot of.
not too much. Him and Mike Evans got a little thing going on. Yep.
Mike's going to get his 1,000 yards out of my mind.
Yeah, he's going to force feed him the ball, but yeah, that's just very impressive.
All right, so our special teams players of the week are Marvin Mims Jr. with the Denver Broncos, 97 punt return yards,
It's fast, very fast.
61-yard punt return in the fourth quarter.
He was wrecking havoc. He was wrecking havoc last night too. He is fast. He's very fast.
And then we got, is it Cotterell?
Carterell, kind of like Cotterell Potters and
Cotterell Hodge with a 1 block punt and a tip punt in the first quarter. So
that's what's up.
And that is our players of the week.
That's it.
Our Rocky Bar guys.
That's what's up. We ready to make our picks now? We ready to make picks? All right.
You might have to write them down because I ain't got a piece of paper.
I got you. I write them down every week.
I do too, but I don't have.
Can't find your paper or your pen.
Well, I've been decorating and wrapping presents, and I'm gonna tell you something. This damn Santa elf is tired, and I am ready for Christmas to be over.
Right. Yeah, it gets a little bit exhausting.
Yeah.
We had a Thursday night game last night. Look, I
don't know if Melissa's still watching or not.
Look, I got the Broncos came out the gate. And you see some talent. They're still a young team though, and I think last night
they are.
They're still, and I think that they're going to be good.
The second half of this game belonged to
this guy right here.
Yeah.
I think. Look, you got the Chiefs that are at the top of the mountain over there in the AFC West, and the Raiders are the Raiders. The Raiders are the bottom feeders right now. But I think that the Chargers kind of wanted to establish, okay, we're not quite the Chiefs, we're not the head honchos, but you kids ain't ready yet. So it's like big brother, middle brother, little brother.
Well, and not only that, but I'm gonna tell you something. I think I personally think that the Broncos went away from the run too quickly.
Yeah, they could have won that game very easily. They got a little too cute. Estimate was running well. Javonte Williams was running well, and you just abandoned it. Estimate had 2 touchdowns.
They got a little bit behind, but it wasn't enough to where you go away from the damn run.
It. Just totally abandoned the run.
That's one thing that Sean Payton is really well at doing, going away from the damn run. How many times did we watch him do that with Alvin Kamara?
Yeah, with the Saints.
I mean, and we watched him do it because they thought, well, you know what, Drew Brees.
How about Mark Ingram too? Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. They've had some backs. Reggie Bush. They've had some good backs over there. You just gotta come on, man. You gotta stay with it. But look, when you talk about arm talent, we talk about Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen may have the best arm in the league. You just talk about a guy who can just the ball just jumps off his hand. Well, here's another one right here. I think Justin Herbert, as far as arm talent in the NFL, he's right up there with the best of them.
He just needs a good number one.
I really do. If I'm them, I'm in the T. Higgins market this offseason. I really am. So we'll see what happens. Congratulations to them, man. It cost me my pick, but I root for Justin Herbert. And I think the other thing too that I didn't really notice it till like this morning. This was the battle of the Oregon quarterbacks, and I think when you're playing a guy from your school, Justin Herbert's like an Oregon legend, and then Bo Nix was an Oregon legend last year.
Yep.
And I just think there's kind of like, look, I'm still,
I'm your daddy.
I'm still kind of the man over here. I just need you to understand that. I kind of saw Justin Herbert, that look in his face. You always want to beat guys in your class, in your draft class, and then definitely guys that went to the same school as you, and you come back and it's like, okay, I need you to kind of understand. There's a reason why I started over you in college. So, yeah. So, we're ready to make our picks. Mona, you took the Chargers last night. I took the Broncos. I'm already 0-1.
I can't remember what I told you.
You did.
I said it was going to be a close game, but I wasn't real sure.
Yeah.
You know what? I found my notebook too.
We got 2 Saturday games tomorrow. Now that college football, I think there's some college games tonight with the college playoffs. I think there's some games tonight. I think they started the college football playoffs. Uh, 2 good ones tomorrow. Texans at Chiefs. Mona, talk to me.
Well, this is Hollywood Brown's coming out party because I think he's playing this weekend, right?
He is. He's fully cleared to play. He is off of IR. He is fully cleared to
And he
play.
practiced all week.
Mm-hmm.
And they said he was doing some amazing things
He
in
practiced last week too. But they were just kind of, limited. They say he was a full go this week, and he looks incredible.
I'm going to take the Chiefs because, like I said, to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to say a close game. I'm going to say 24-21 Chiefs.
And I'm taking the Texans. I just think that the Texans are a little bit more desperate. I really think part of this too is I'm trying to make up on some picks. I'm like, if I'm losing, I'm going to lose big. I think the Chiefs will win, but I'm gonna give a reason why maybe the Texans can win. I do think that I think his ankle's still a little bit gimpy. And when you look at that pass rush, Will Anderson Jr. and Danielle Hunter, who's in the tops, and I don't think Will Anderson Jr. is playing, but Danielle Hunter is. And I expect a close game too. And I'm going the same score too, Mona. I'm going to say 24-21. I think this is a Nico Collins game. I think that CJ Stroud, I think they kind of want to prove. No, I can't do it. Damn it. No. I'm going Chiefs. I'm going the same score as you, Mona. 24-21. I can't do it. I'm trying to talk myself into it. I can't.
Well, you know you're going to pick against me on the next game, so.
I am.
I know. I'm taking the Steelers in a close game.
Okay.
I'm going to say 21-18. I think it's tied all the way up to the end, and Boss kicks a field goal for the win. And
I totally disagree. It's just like what I said last week. Your offense is very stagnant. No Pickens this week.
Well, I mean, the first game we beat them by 6 field goals.
Yeah, I understand. Did Pickens play that game?
Yeah.
Did Justin Fields play that game?
Yes, he was the quarterback.
Okay. That's what I'm saying. That losing them, George Pickens is your true number one receiver. I saw it last week. Now, is the Ravens defense as good as the Eagles? Not a chance. But
it's a brutal black and blue division. So
yeah, I just think the Ravens here. I think the Ravens are going to be highly motivated, highly high, and this is for them. This is the AFC North Championship for them, not for you, but for them it is. If they lose this game, there's no way mathematically they can win a division. I expect them to throw all stops out to try to win this game. I still think that the Steelers will put up a good fight, but I think the Ravens win this game. I'm going to say 28-20. I still think Russ will try to, and I think maybe you could have something TJ Watt strip sack or something like that to kind of change. I think it's going to be something that you score on the defensive side of the ball. Giants at Falcons, Mona.
I'm taking the Falcons.
The beginning of the Michael Penix Jr.
Well, there's no tape on him.
Yeah.
There's no tape on this kid. And I think that they are going to lean heavy on the run game, which is what they should have been doing to begin with. And I just don't think John's win another game this year. Falcons, I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'm going to say 18. 14.
18-14. And I think this week, that the Falcons explode. I think Michael Penix Jr. is going to be throwing the ball all over the field. 30 to,
I think they rein him in.
I'm going to say 30. They're 30 to 10 Falcons. I think the Falcons blow them out the water. I think this kid's going to try to go out and finally unleash him and throw the ball around a little bit. Detroit at the Bears, Mona.
I'm taking the Lions. I think after getting beat by Buffalo like they did,
Yeah.
I think you're going to see a different Lions game out there. And I just think that I just don't like the Bears. I just don't like the Bears. I'm going to say 28-17.
28-17. I'm going the Lions, but barely here. Those injuries are really starting to catch up. But I still think that they're better than the Bears. I still think. I'm going to say 27-14. I think they still beat them by nearly 2 touchdowns. Cards at Panthers, Mona.
I'm taking the Cardinals. Let's see here. Panthers are playing better. But Bryce Young, he needs some weapons, some passing weapons.
And you drafted Michael Pittman Jr., but I think they need a number 2. I think they really need a number 2 receiver over there.
21-15.
I'm going Cards too. Although I like the Panthers really, I mean, they made Cooper Rush look like Dan Marino last week, man. But yeah, I'm gonna say 24 to. The only way they can win is running the ball, and Legette's out of this game. 24 to 10. I just don't see they're gonna have to run Chuba Hubbard a lot this game. Rams at Jets, Mona.
Damn, what Aaron Rodgers shows up for this game. It's at home too.
Yeah. I mean, he looked.
Look,
Yeah.
you know what? The Jets. I think the Jets' issue is head coaching. Aaron Rodgers is playing much better right now. I've noticed the last 2 games, even though they lost the game prior. I just don't think they got an answer for. I think Rams defense gets after him.
Yeah.
And I like what the Rams are doing offensively right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Matthew Stafford, I think he's playing better quarterback play right now than Aaron Rodgers.
I think he'd like to get a win against Rodgers. It's they're kind of the last of their era.
Yeah.
I think Stafford was 09 and I think Rodgers was like 05. So they're
I'm going
like
to take the Rams. I got a sinking feeling that the Jets pull this one off. I'm going to take, I may even wear my Aaron Rodgers Packers jersey just to show support. Even though I don't play for the Packers no more. I'm going to take the Rams. $26-20.
Yeah. It's tough after what I saw.
Rams are trying to stay in these playoffs and
49ers are done. Yeah, they're the Seahawks dropped that. Now it's between the Rams and the Rams and was it Rams and I don't know, that whole NFC West. The Rams, they really need this game. The Jets are already out of it. I think the Rams are going to come with all I think they're going to go all out this week. I'm going to say Rams 21 to. I think Rodgers will toss it around. Devontae Adams went off last.
Seahawks because they're both 8-6 right now.
Yeah, Devontae Adams showed off last week. He 21-17 Rams. 21-17 Rams. Eagles at the battle for the NFC East.
What, the Commanders?
Commanders and Eagles. Eagles at Commanders.
I'm taking the Eagles.
Okay.
28-17.
28-17. I'm also taking
division rivals, but I just don't think the Commanders.
I don't think they're there yet. They got the rookie. They got the rookie Jaden Daniels, and I think they're gonna go after. Also, the Eagles have an opportunity to get the number 1 seed. If the Lions keep falling, the Eagles can get that number 1 seed. I don't think anybody wants to go to Philly in the playoffs. I think it's going to be a 28 to 20 Eagles. Brownies at Bengals, Mona. AFC North.
Browns still have their defense.
They still got that deal.
I think Burrow is going to have to get rid of the ball fast because that defense is going to get after Burrow. And I can't remember who won with their first matchup.
Bengals won.
Because usually they split.
Yeah.
But their quarterback issue is just.
They're starting Dorian DTR this weekend. They're starting DTR this weekend.
And no tape on him. But didn't they just lose their running back?
Chubb is out for the year, but they got Jerome Ford. He's going to play, but he ain't Chubb. Chubb got hurt again. No, he's still good. They still got Chase Brown. The Browns lost. The Browns lost.
I'm going to go with Bengals. 31. Hold on. I'm writing that on yours. 31-21.
31-21. I'm gonna go Bengals too. I look. DTR ain't Joe Burrow. I do think that the Browns defense will keep them in it, but I expect Judy to have a good game. I think they're gonna. Judy has really showed me a lot, but Chase and Higgins and I just don't see it. Bengals. I'm with you, Mona. I say 31 to 20, and I'm being very generous. I'm being very generous for the Browns. Titans at Colts.
Like I said, the only thing about it is we ain't got no tape on this quarterback. So
he played some games for him last year. He played some games for him last year when they went
not
through all
really
of those.
Anybody really remembers? I'm sure they're going back and watching those games to see what tendencies he's got. But I just
he started a few games before Flacco took over last year. He's played some. I mean, they know him not a little bit.
So we got Titans and Colts.
Mason Rudolph gets the start over Levis.
I'm taking the Titans.
Okay.
And it's in Indianapolis. Phew, I don't know. It's so hard to go up there and win in that damn stadium.
Anthony Richardson's actually been playing a little bit better since he got benched. He's playing a little bit better because they put a little heat. Don't think just because you're a first-round pick, we won't bench your ass. So they shut him down for a little bit.
24-21 Titans.
I'm going to Colts on this. I think this is a low-scoring game. Uh, but I like the stability that Mason Rudolph gives them. They another team. They don't really have any
And,
receivers.
look, the offense plays well with Mason Rudolph.
They
when
do.
he's in there.
He's a seasoned vet. 21 to 18 Colts. I don't think it's going to be a very high scoring game. Vikings at Seahawks. Mona?
I'm taking the Vikings.
Okay.
Vikings
would love to knock off the Lions up there in the NFC North. I think they really like that.
I'm gonna say yeah, played not too great. Although I still say Packers defense is legit. And he's gonna be wanting a rebound, and this is in Seattle. So I think it's gonna be a close game. I think Vikings defense gets after Gino though. I'm gonna say 24-21 Vikings.
I'm going.
Defense is kind of.
They're kind of iffy, and that. Let me tell you something. Jordan Addison on the other side of Justin Jefferson, he's having a hell of a year.
Yep.
Now they got two problems. Now you got two. You got Justin Jefferson and Addison, and then you got Hawkinson, who just came back, and he's starting to get a little bit healthier. You still got Aaron Jones. I'm going Vikings too. I just don't know if the Seahawks can. Sam Howell took over for Gino. Gino got hurt last week. Sam Howell came in the game.
So he might not even be playing this weekend.
28 to. I'll give them 20 points. Vikings 28-20. Patriots at Bills, Mona.
Oh, a blowout. Buffalo, remember being the redheaded stepchild in that division for so many years against the Patriots, and I think they just absolutely kicked the shit out of them. But wouldn't surprise me if they overlooked the Patriots, and the Patriots were just block it and somehow win that damn game.
Trap game alert.
It very well could be. It could be, but I'm taking the Bills.
Okay.
Let's see.
It's a trap.
See, you called the Browns game a trap for us, but I just told you I worried more about playing the Browns than I did anybody else in their damn division.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the coach. That's more for the players than it is for the fans. You may not, but they look at us like, man, we kick their ass all the time. There was teams that I used to play. I'm like, you would already kind of like Mark.
For the last 2 or 3 years, we have split with the Cleveland Browns.
No.
We don't always beat them.
I think you respect the Ravens a little bit more than the Browns.
30. I'm going to say 30. Probably about 40 some more. But I'm going to say 30 because Josh Allen hates the Patriots too. I'm going to say 41. Although they don't need to. They don't win their division.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to say 41. I think by second half, they put their damn second and third stringers in. Nah.
Mitchell Trubisky, anyone?
34. No, 31 to 18. 31-18.
31-18. Okay.
I'm
going Bills. I'm going Bills too. I could see Josh Allen maybe sitting out the fourth quarter. I think they're gonna get him what he needs. He's no need in risking him. He's a front runner for the MVP.
And if you got any guys out there are like a little bit dinged up, I'd sit their asses too.
Yeah, but you also want. I need to see more from Amari Cooper. I need to see some Amari Cooper because they're going to need him in the playoffs. They're going to really need him in the playoffs. 35 to 14, and I'm being very generous. Jags, wow, the last place bowl. Jags at Raiders, Mona.
Well, they still have Matt Crosby on defense. They ain't got much else. But didn't they just win? Didn't Raiders just beat
Beat who?
Who was it they played? Let me look. They just won. I'm pretty sure they just won.
The Raiders are bad. They're
I know,
really
but they
bad.
just beat somebody. Who the hell was it they played last week?
Matt Jones is
Oh,
playing.
no, they got beat by the Falcons 15-9.
Yeah.
But the Jags are not the Falcons either.
No, they're not. But Mac Jones might be playing better than Kirk Cousins right now. He might just be. Kirk Cousins is playing terrible. Mac Jones is playing for his future. Like, it's like, okay, we see you're not a franchise quarterback, and now you're covering down for Trevor Lawrence.
20.
We need to know.
I'm going to say 20.
I need to know if you can be at least a career backup because you ain't even showed me that.
2014 Jags.
2014. Yeah, I'm going Jags too. I think this is it. I don't know. If they lose in an embarrassing fashion, Antonio Pierce might get fired. He might get fired. If they were to get their ass kicked by the Jags, Antonio Pierce might get fired. I'm going to say 14-10 Jags. 14-10. 49ers at Dolphins.
Oh, God.
Terrible. 49ers are down to their fit. Isaac Guerrero, their starter, who's fourth string. They already lost Christian McCaffrey, Jordan Mason, Elijah Mitchell. And now Isaac Guerrero, he's doubtful. So now you're talking about their fifth
string running back.
Fifth string running back. They're down to their fifth and sixth string running back. Those other guys are on IR, like they're gone. So yeah.
And Dolphins just lost. Was it the Texans they played?
Jordan Waddle's out. He's been ruled out for this game too. I was looking because I play against them this week in fantasy. By the way, I'm in the semifinals. I go to the championship next week if I win. Just saying.
You mean Jalen Waddle?
Jalen Waddle, he's out. He's been ruled out for this game.
I'm going to take the Dolphins anyway.
At home. Yeah, they're at home.
I'm going to say Snorefest again.
Yeah.
Although Dolphins defense is not the Rams.
No.
I'm going to say 21. Every time I take the damn Dolphins, though, they end up losing.
Yeah.
21-20.
21-20. I'm going Dolphins too, reluctantly.
They still have Tyreek Hill.
They still have Tyreek Hill. And two of him out. Like who is Brock Purdy throwing to? Like Deebo Samuel has one touchdown this year. Deebo Samuel has one touchdown this year.
But against the Dolphins defense, he actually might play well.
Yeah. I'd like to see Deebo Samuel play a little bit more running back this week than wide receiver. This is the time here. If you were ever going to make him play a little bit more running back than receiver, this is the week. I'm going to still go with the Dolphins in a close game, 20-14. I don't think it's going to be a high-scoring game. Sunday night game, Bucks at Cowboys, Mona. I picked against the Cowboys last week, and they won against the damn Panthers. And then this week, I'll pick for them to lose, and they'll win. Whatever I do, they do the opposite of. That's what they do.
I'm taking the Bucks. Look, I just think that the
Mike
way Baker
Evans.
Mayfield's playing right now,
Mike
yeah,
Evans.
Bland's back, but
No Diggs. Diggs is out for a year.
yeah,
DeMarcus Lawrence is out for a year.
I just don't think you got enough to put enough pressure on
Firepower.
Mayfield.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 28-21 Bucks.
Only chance that the Cowboys have, I'm picking the Bucks by the way, is they've got to look. Rico Dowdle. They might have found him a running back. They had 3 straight 100-yard games.
Yeah.
They should have started him earlier in the year, but I still think the Bucks win. 28 to I'll give them 20 points. The Bucks defense ain't that good. They can be having. I think who's going to cover CeeDee Lamb and Cooper Rush is playing good ball. He's really playing pretty damn good ball. And then Monday night game, Saints. Oh my goodness, Saints at Packers. Goodness gracious.
And I think it's supposed to be snowing like crazy
Lord.
too.
Good Lord, man.
I'm taking the Packers.
Wow. That's wow.
I think
That's gonna be bad, really bad. That's gonna be really
what was the
bad.
Packers score against Seattle?
This is gonna be really bad. And Kamara
They beat
is out.
Seattle 30-13.
Kamara's out in this game too. The only
38.
weapon you have.
I'm taking Packers 38. Well, no, it's going to be cold and snowing, so
Okay.
I'll say 31. Because them boys are used to playing in that same thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 31-10. I think it's going to be a snore fest.
I'm going Packers too. I don't think with the snow like that, I don't know if they'll score 31 points. I'm going to say 25 to.
I just think they
20.
use Josh Jacobs a lot. And
Yeah, 25-10 Packers. 25-10 Packers. It's going to be great, man. We got games tomorrow. I love college football, but I also like when college football's over until the bowl games really start. Then you start having NFL games on Saturday. I love that because then that gives me another reason to stay home, even though I'm antisocial anyways. I'm just I don't know. I get to stay home, and it's 2 good games tomorrow too. 2 damn good games tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. I think that's everything. This is our last show before. What day is Christmas on? Christmas is on
Wednesday.
Okay, so we will have a show next. Are there games on Wednesday? There's no games on Wednesday.
Yes, Christmas Day.
Damn,
The
there's
Steelers
games
playing
on-
the Chiefs.
Wow.
We had 3 games in 12 days. That shit should never have happened.
No, that's
Should
not
never. No, I'm gonna bitch about it, and I'm gonna complain about it, even if we were to win tomorrow and win Christmas Day. I'm still gonna say there's no way a team should play 3 games in 12 days.
Yeah, that's terrible. And they shouldn't play 2 games in 4 days either. That's just I don't like that. You can't say that you're about safety and then put players.
Well, that's
in
why
positions like that.
they put us on a Saturday game to give us Sunday,
yeah.
Monday, Tuesday, and you
Yeah,
got to
that's-
turn around and play the damn Chiefs. Come on,
that's pretty bad.
Dwayne Woodley, Steelers are coming for the Chiefs, buddy. Just letting you know.
Mona, last words.
Just want to tell everybody thank you guys for continuing to support us and showing up for our shows and for our coffee talks and which I'm not part of that. Hell, most of the time I'm asleep when he's doing them.
You pop up. You pop up in there.
Yeah, once in a while. Most of the time about 10-15 minutes before you end it.
Yeah, I like to get up and knock them out. But if I don't do it like around 10 o'clock Eastern time, I start getting messages. And
Right.
2 people, Melissa and Dwayne, they're like, "Okay, what's up, Marcus? Get up." I'm like, "I'm up." I'm just kind of, I kind of gather my thoughts to kind of making my coffee and all of that stuff. So, yeah.
Yeah, I got a 4-year-old I'm chasing by 8:30. She's up, and I'm chasing her. So
yeah, totally get
Thank you
it.
guys for everything. We love you, and we'll see you next Friday.
For sure. Appreciate y'all. Like Mona said, everybody who supports us, Coffee Talk, Alphabets Football Show, people who contribute in the group. Make sure y'all subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'm not really doing Facebook that much because I want y'all to get on YouTube and watch us on YouTube. I'm really trying to grow that platform over there. Get your Alphabets Football Show merch, short sleeve t-shirts, 27. Not that really anybody's ordering that. Long sleeve t-shirts, 37, and hoodies, 52. I can't wait to see what Michelle's light blue hoodie looks like. That's going to be hot. She's the first one to order it. I can't wait to see how that turns out. And we'll be back. Maybe tomorrow. I don't know, Mona. I'll check with you. Maybe we'll talk about it. Maybe we'll do something tomorrow since we got 2 games tomorrow. Maybe we'll see how it goes. And we'll be back. I'll be back on Monday doing Coffee Talk, and we'll be back on next Friday, man. We appreciate y'all. Have a good night. Watch the bowl games. Stay engaged. Please be safe. There's a lot of idiots out there. Please don't be drinking and driving.
All right.
Please get
Just said, don't forget our wager, bro.
I got you.
I want to know our wager.
We had a wager that I think it was the Jets would win 9 games. I think it was. It's so that I got to send him red, and I got to send him a Chiefs themed Alphabets Football Show.
I think you're gonna have to do that.
Yeah, that's cool. I don't mind.
Right now,
what's the Jets record?
4-10
with 3 games. Shit, they
can't do it.
They can't.
You done lost that bet.
Okay, I on the next order. Because I do them within orders. I got you.
Oh, it's a hoodie.
Yeah, I gotta send him and Trent Powell. They won T-shirts last year for the postseason picks. They both had the same record on postseason picks because the Chiefs won it, and we did the brackets last year, and I had to make 2 Chiefs colored.
Y'all can do that bracket all you want. I ain't doing it.
So I got you, Dwayne. When I do the next order, the next order is going to be a couple of weeks because they're going to be out of town.
He just wants that hoodie for the Super Bowl game.
You'll have it. You'll definitely have it by the Super Bowl. But everybody, you'll definitely have it by the Super Bowl. Everybody, have a good night. Much love to y'all. Be safe. Okay. See ya.
Low sundown, the sun up, all I want is the cash. Now homie, run me the stash. Put them ones in the bag, now count up. Count up. Count up. Count up. I'm talking 1 milli, 2 milli, 3 milli, 4 billion, 5 billion.